Yeah. I just want to make mention that every time you allow for my desktop to be anywhere other than the desktop that I'm using, yes. When you slash the emails, when you change the color of the font, or you thought that, well, we'll teach them a lesson. You open the door to all kinds of malicious types of technology. Yeah. Now, I know it's not that important to the police department making sure that you arrest people for crime. Yeah. I've had the personal experience of telling you, and instead of allowing for me to speak to my sons, you had continued to enforce a fraudulent court order. You had me arrested numerous times, and then you didn't find the individual that committed the actual crime. Now, you can't just close a case as if it were some fucking joke. More than likely, I'm not the only person you did this to, because you decided that you're law enforcement and you won't be held accountable for arresting the wrong person for crimes they didn't commit because you wouldn't admit the evidence that they hadn't committed any crime. And then when you let them go, without prejudice, so that you could still open well, you let somebody else walk. Now I'm going to have to demand, and I can say that because it is a demand. When it involves my life and the lives of my sons, right? And you arrest me and obstruct me from my custody of my sons, and then you say that I'm crazy, yeah. And I give you the actual evidence. I email you videos from that day, and you don't want to exonerate me for some weird reason. You have this idea that, well, he's just got to be the person that we put in prison or a mental institution or wherever it is that you want to put me. Yes, you actually allow some people to commit crimes that should have been put in prison. Now, if it turns out that it's a dog, yeah, something that looks like myself, right? That was in the come to find out family, so that you could, well, try to make it sound like I was crazy when I actually gave you the actual documentation and you had the actual evidence that I didn't commit the crime. It's going to look that much worse on the part of law enforcement. Now, um, I'm wanting to have my rights enforced. And just mentioning this case that got closed in 2012, yes. Law enforcement worksheet on 531 of 2012, yes. I wanted you to know that I didn't receive any due process in 2011. Yeah. My sons were abducted and kidnapped, and they are still missing. Yes. Now, they might be on the front page of the sports section of every newspaper in the United States because of how good they are at football. But as their father, they're missing. You understand? Now, I didn't realize in 2012 that just because you closed the case, where there was the allegation of me attempting to contact the petitioner by a third party, yes, the case is still open, and you're going to remove your fucking protection orders. Because I was tried for violating a fraudulent protection order that did not protect my rights as a father. You remember the 14 days? Rendering criminal assistance to those that make up false police reports that allege false crimes so that you can try persons that are not guilty of violating fraudulent protection orders.